Mo was one of our defenders this year, first year letter winner on the varsity team. Obviously, the defense was one of the stronger units on their team. But whenever he had an opportunity, you knew that you were going to get him to play with 100% effort. You knew that he was going to challenge guys that had the ball. I think he's got a very, very bright future ahead of him. I'm excited. I thought he was, obviously not getting probably as much playing time as he would have liked to have. He always continued to come to practice and try to work hard, especially second half of the season. It seemed like he really kind of kicked it into gear and really worked hard, and I think we're going to see great things from him for next year. So. Drew. So Drew was our only sophomore this year, and those of you that watched the game probably saw the impact that he had on the field when he was out there. If it was playing as an outside defender to start the season, just absolutely composed, very rarely got beat. And if he did get beat, he'd somehow find a way to get back and win the ball. And not only is that his position that he's used to playing defense, with some injuries to the midfield, we actually had to move him up, and I thought he just did a phenomenal job playing in that outside midfielder position for us. Scored some huge goals for us, one against Avon Lake, and there's probably another one that I'm Avon. I think he actually had a huge assist. When we had a big game, you could always count on Drew to show up because he was always there. So his future is bright. He's got 2 more years left, and I can't wait to see what he does in the next few years. Omar. Omar, he had, from the beginning of last year to this year, the improvement that I saw from him and his work that he's put in the offseason got him to this position. Unfortunately, this year he kind of had a couple of injuries that may have been a little bit of a setback for him, but when he did get that opportunity to go in there, he gave effort. His knowledge of the game and what to do with the ball once he gets it is pretty impressive. So we're hoping that he can stay healthy for his senior year and hopefully see some wonderful things out of you next year. But great season. All right, so Caleb had a good season for us. Unfortunately, he was another one that kind of came in this, the preseason because of an injury that he had at camp. I'm sure everybody knows. But he's got exceptional talent. He's got a wonderful shot. His footwork on the ball is fantastic. Another one that I'm sure, was hoping to get some more playing time, and I think obviously that'll change next year. But his future is extremely bright. He scored a goal for us this year at one point in time, so that was good to see. I'm just excited for his senior year. He had a great year. Team player, always worked hard, always asked what he needed to do to improve, and did that. So great to see you. Nice job. Landon. So, obviously the position that Landon was put in, being the backup goalie to start the season, and then after Leo got hurt, I think there were about 6-7 games left in the season, things changed dramatically. And I don't know of anybody that would have been able to step up and play the way that he played for the remainder of the season. Just absolutely remarkable. Really poised in the back. Never too high, he never got too excited, he never got too low, never got down on himself. But for anybody that watched that game against Medina, holy smokes, he must have made 5, 6 unbelievable saves. I mean, he obviously had a huge impact in all the games that he played, but I was just so proud of the effort that he gave, the second half of the season, and his future is so bright, and thank you just for a fantastic season this year. Jaden. Jaden is obviously one of our defenders back there for us. Very versatile. Play him in the middle, play him on the outside, and he is just, he's a tough guy to get through. I mean, he's so strong. He's so smart on the ball. He always picks great angles on winning the ball. He tells me he's not so great in the air, so he's going to work on that in the offseason. But I don't see it. I mean, even balls in the air, I thought he did a fantastic job. As the season went on with injuries and red cards or whatnot, and we won't even talk about that. Just wherever you put him, I mean, he just does a phenomenal job. He fought through some injuries this year, but you couldn't even tell. He's got a bright future, and his senior year is going to be very special for him. So just really glad to have him on our side because he's a force back there. Great season. And we got Zach. All right, so Zach was one of our center midfielders for us this year, played a ton. He did a really, really fantastic job for us. Played defensive, a little bit more than on offensive midfield, but really kind of closed down the middle for us. Very smart with the ball. His decision making is very good. For him to step in and play center midfield, as a junior and come up and lead us to the record that we had with the other guys, just says a lot about the talent that he possesses. So I'm excited for his senior year. I think he's going to continue to improve. Obviously being all conference in the GLC, just really proud of the year that he had this year, and can't wait to see what happens next year. I'm so mad. All right. He might. Where's that? Andrew, where's Andrew at? Andrew. I did that one time. All right. So Andrew. He had a little rough start to the beginning of the season. Last year he was out all year because of injury. Here's a guy that loves soccer, just wants to be out there, and has just been obviously riddled with injuries. And that was the same case to start the season this year. He shows up in a boot, and I just felt for him, right? Because here's a guy that wanted to be out there last year, and he's all excited to get his opportunity to play varsity this year, and he kind of just, he just couldn't get off on the right foot. But he, from the time he got healthy, the amount of work that he put in, was second to none. He worked hard. He got himself fit. He started to contribute at times in some very important games. And I just think that as long as we can keep him healthy, his future is going to be, he's going to have a fantastic year and be a big part of the success that we have next year. He's got unbelievable vision. He knows what to do with the ball when he gets it. So I'm so excited for what next year brings when you're finally healthy again, buddy. Great job. All right, Ryan, he started started for us up top, and he had an outstanding season, absolutely phenomenal. Anybody that watches him knows that he is going to give nothing but 100%. He goes and he goes and he plays hard every second, right? And I think what we're working on for him this year is, he didn't have that goal recognition that Brashear had, but he did so many other things that created opportunities for other guys that I think gets unnoticed. So I was extremely impressed with the season that he had this year. Once again, just another guy that I'm excited for next year to see him get his opportunity. But he's a special player, and he had another fantastic year for us this year as a junior. So nice job. And Aiden. Did anybody that just got a letter, did you get a letter in any other sport? I may have given one out. Okay, we'll grab one. Like Ryan got one in hockey, so that's right. Aiden, preseason, watching him in preseason, he had a great camp. Goes to Strongsville and has a freak, injury, just kind of out of nowhere, which kind of set him back in the preseason. So I don't think he was another one, that was able to get in the mix right from the very beginning. But when he goes out there, he's so coachable. He's always asking, what can I do to improve? What can I do to get better? And it shows in practice because he gives nothing but 100%. He's continuously working on his first touch. He's looking at distribution, continuously working on a shot. Another guy that, playing time was limited, and I know that he hopes to see some more next year, and I'm sure he will, but ended up with a goal this year. So I thought all in all, fantastic season, and I'm looking forward to next year. Leo. Leo had a fantastic year. I think he ended up having 6 shutouts before, he had to kind of close it down for the year. But anybody that watches Leo play that knows that he's one of the best goalkeepers around. That goes without saying. I mean, he's just, he's vocal out there. Obviously, he's not afraid to put himself in harm's way with the ball. We'll talk about that. But we're so blessed to have so many wonderful goalkeepers, Javi included. All 3 of those guys helped with the varsity team. But Leo's future, is as bright as it can be. In my opinion, he's one of the top keepers in the area. And it's just unfortunate, that he had the injury that he did towards the end of the season. But 8 shutouts. The future is bright. Honorable mention for GLC. So good job. We're looking for great things, and I'm just first and foremost just glad you're healthy. Jimmy. Jimmy had a wonderful season for us. He was kind of played a little bit of a rotation. We put him up top for a little bit just to kind of get him ready for the game, and then rotate him into the midfield to give our midfield a break. And he's just such a skilled player. He can finish when he wants to shoot the ball. A lot of times, when he gets that opportunity, he looks to distribute to other guys. But hopefully next year, he might be a little bit more selfish just because of the amount of talent that he has. Watching his foot skills, his feet on the ball, his effort defensively is second to none. He just does such a wonderful job in so many areas of the game for us. And I'm just proud of the season that he had. Another guy that was honored, with some postseason awards, and well deserved, because he had a wonderful season, and we're looking for great things for him next year too. All right, another second-year player, David Schultz, for you. David had an outstanding career here at Westlake. Obviously, he's a senior and he's going to be missed. The last 2 years, he's been pretty much locked down on that left side. Nobody can get by David, obviously, and I don't think he'd want to try. But he was so crucial to the success that we had defensively, not only this year but last year. With as many shutouts as that we've had over the last couple of years, he's just such a solid player. Gives everything when he steps on that field. He's going to give everything he has when he goes out there. So, I wish you all the best. We're going to miss you. I know that you got a bright future ahead of you, and thanks for everything on a fantastic season. All right, third-year player, Justin Treffler. So Justin obviously had a phenomenal year. We count on him for so many different things, and he's such a team player. He goes out there. He's unselfish. He just does the whole package out on the field. And what he did this year, I think, goes without saying. The impact that he had on this team. From being a leader and captain as a junior isn't something that's always. It doesn't happen very often, and I think he earned that with his leadership this year. He ended up being our second leading scorer, led the team in assists. Just not enough you can say about what he does for this team on the field. And congratulations on a wonderful season. Your senior year is just gonna, hopefully be, even better than what it was this year, and hopefully we can, take it to that next level and win districts and possibly even be playing tonight, instead of having this banquet. But I can't say enough. He's just phenomenal, and fantastic season. Awesome guys. Jimmy's not here. Tanner. Obviously, Tanner is a senior. He had a fantastic career. Last year was an amazing year for him, and then this year we're really excited to see what happens. And I get a phone call, unfortunately, like hours before the game, saying that I broke my foot and I'm going to be out for a while. So he was missed in the beginning for sure. Anybody that watches Tanner knows the amount of effort that he gives on that outside wing. He goes up and down. He's so smart with the ball. Had some huge goals for us this year. There were times, that we had to move him back to a defender, and he could fit in and just fit seamlessly there at defender. But missed a good chunk of the year because of his injury. If he would have been there, he would have been obviously one of the better players around. And I wish you well. Thank you for all of your service to this program over the last 4 years. We're going to miss you, and I know you're on great things. So. Espen. Espen's a senior, 3-year varsity letter winner. Just another skillful player out there. Played on the outside. His crosses and his knowledge to attack the goal really helped us out on numerous occasions this year. Had some really great crosses. I think Brashear probably was beneficiary of a couple of those throughout the year. But just an outstanding teammate. He's just a wonderful kid to coach. Is always listening to what we have to say, looking to improve at practice, and I know that you're on to bigger and better things as you graduate, but you will definitely be missed. And thank you for everything you've done over the last 4 years. Ryan Horseshoe. So another 3-year varsity player for Westlake, just an outstanding young man, player, individual. Another guy that probably wished that he would have had a little bit more time, but he took advantage of every second that he was out there. Extremely, extremely coachable. All you have to do is tell him something once and he's going to go out and work on it, and that's what he did all year long. He had a great season for us. Probably none bigger play for us was that play that you had against Shaker to get us back in it. I know that you didn't end up scoring the goal, but your effort to get us there after being down 1-0 just shows the type of player that you are. I mean, still willing to go out there and just give everything you got for this team, and I really appreciate it. I think you're a wonderful, wonderful young man. I know you got a bright future ahead of you. Appreciate everything that you've done for the last 4 years, and we're going to miss you, buddy. Vinny. Vinny's a 3-year varsity winner. He's a senior for us, a captain. I can't say enough about Vinny and his leadership this year. Outside of his play on the field, I think that speaks for itself. He's, played on the outside wing for us. Always gave nothing but effort out there. Had some pretty big time moments for us. Had a nice first goal, I think, in Avon Lake to get us going there. Obviously he had that cross in at the end against Medina that was a goal, but obviously some people didn't feel like it was one. But just an outstanding young man. I know he's got a bright future. I appreciate everything you've done for the program and everything you did this year. I mean, the leadership, the little things that you would do on and off the field didn't go unnoticed, and we really appreciate that. At least I did as your coach, and you're going to be missed. All right, so our 4-year varsity winners, Brashear, we have 2 of them. So they'll have a plaque. It's not done yet. Your picture and a plaque is really nice. What can you say about the season that this guy had this year? I mean, just I'm not sure how many goals you had last year, but it was 3, 4, 5. I don't know. It was not 6 years. So as a starter for us, he had 6 goals last year, right? This year, I think he ended up with 29. Wow. I don't know, obviously, the records as far as goals scored. I know that he's not the top, but I can't believe that there's been more players to score. There can't be that many players that have scored, 30 goals or more. I'd probably count them on one hand on it, honestly. So, but he obviously, had some absolutely huge moments for us this year. Scored some huge goals for us, and he's just an outstanding young man. I mean, besides what he produced on the field this year, I can't say enough about the type of person he is. Just outstanding, always polite, always coachable. At times, he doesn't necessarily want to hear what you're telling him, but he takes the criticism very well, honestly, better than most guys do, and he goes and works on it, right? Just a phenomenal year. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He always put himself in the right place at the right time. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. 30 goals, 29 goals in a year is a fantastic season, and obviously that's going to be missed. And your contributions the last 4 years have just been outstanding for this program, and we appreciate everything that you've done, not only this year, but in 4 years. But you had an absolutely fantastic season. And then Lucas Sanchez. So blessed with just to have an amazing group of kids here. I mean, they're all fantastic, and Lucas. I can't say enough about Lucas. After the season last year, I pretty much told him, you're going to be the leader of this team moving forward, and you're going to start setting the tone. And he did. He organized everything in the offseason. He is the example of a leader. His play on the field as a defender, in my opinion, there's not too many in the state of Ohio that plays defense like he does. I know it's not part of his future, but if he wanted to, it could be. But just an outstanding season. He was a mentor to some of the new guys that played defense this year. And just fantastic season, remarkable young man. Like I said, you got a bright future ahead of you, and I appreciate everything that you've done for me in these last 2 years and for the program. The 4 years that you were here, and I wish you the best of luck. But you're going to be tough to replace. So awesome. All right, this was one that I couldn't necessarily just pick one. I think these guys, are the example of what you want in a player as a coach. And these guys, obviously everybody in this room can, qualify for this award. We have some tremendous young men in here. However, this year, the Coaches Award for what these guys did this year for the coaching staff and just how coachable they are goes to Ryan Forshee and Tanner Amy. Most improved goes to Andrew Corey. All right, our defensive player of the year goes to Lucas Sanchez. And it just goes without saying, offensive player of the year. And then the MVP goes to Justin Trepler. All right, so we have just a highlight video here